This is Lady B, and today I'm making a gift for my husband, and that is a matching back scrubber to go with one of these. Now there's all kinds of names for these. They call them shower sponges and other things like that. When they first came out, the advertisements for them referred to them as lather thingies. And I remember how funny we thought the commercials were, but now here we are all these years later and everybody uses them. And I think the reason why is two things. The first is they really work really, really well. Wherever you can reach, this will help get you clean. The second is they don't really get wet. They'll hold water, but the material it's made out of does not absorb water. And what we used to use before they came out with these did. So we had to worry about things like mildew and mold, and bacteria and all those lovely things that we try to avoid in our showers. And I think that has a lot to do with it. But when it comes to the areas you can't reach with this, we have to go to other things like back scrubbers or loofahs and things that are either really large and awkward or that, again, get wet and you have to worry about mold and mildew and bacteria. So I came up with a way to make a matching back scrubber to go with any of these using two more of them, some matching button thread with a needle, and of course scissors to cut my thread with. And that's it. That's all I need. It's fairly simple and easy to do. And I just love it so much better than anything else I have found in the stores that I can buy. Though they do make similar ones you can buy in the store. If you don't want to do this, you can find ones like this in the store. But these are only $2 each, $1 each, depending on where you find them. And the really nice ones that you can buy that are similar to what I'm going to show you how to make are 7-8 times that in cost. So this is also an economical way to do it. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to set aside whichever one, I like that one, that he's going to use as his regular lather thingy. And now the first thing I need to do is to just break these down. Now this particular type has this cord here with this little plastic piece that slides down and holds it in place. I'm going to slide that up enough that I can get it off. Now sometimes, yep, that's what I thought. And then it's looped around it like that. There we go. So that is, we're going to use this later. Now I picked this one because I love this particular type. They're actually two together. So you get this really great color shift, but it's just a black and a red both together, which is particularly awesome in my opinion. I love the color combination. Let's do the same thing for the next one. So I have here one I have taken apart. And because this is a double layered one with two different colors, this is actually half the length that you will find on most of them. So I have to do it a little differently with the double layer. If it was a standard length, if this was not double layered, I would be able to take both of my pieces after I had pulled out the ends and put them together like this and sew them together at the end in the middles, but I can't. It will end up too short if I do that. So because this is double length, instead I will be taking the end of each of them and I'm going to be connecting them here in the middle. And this makes my button thread even more important. If you are doing this with two long ones where this is the fold, you only need to use the button thread enough to attach them together. But because I have to attach two ends together, what I need to do is take one of them, fold it under 2 inches, tuck my other one inside that 2 inches, and I'm going to take my button thread, and I have already threaded it. This is a tapestry needle. I'm using it for the length, and I'm going to take my ends of my button thread. I've got, like I said, I have 2 feet here, and I'm going to tie these ends into a double knot. And I'm just going to do a basic knot where you just go around, pull it through the hole, and tie the end. And I'm going to do that twice, like I said. And what this has done is it has now created a loop, which is important. Trim down to about 1/4 inch. And I'm going to pass this through. I'm going to bunch up this that I've put together, and I'm going to pass this through from one side to the other, and then back again without pulling it all the way. And the reason for that is I can now pass my needle through this loop I've created with this knot, and that will then, once I pull it tight, will secure it. And now that I have that secure, I'm going to keep passing this through multiple times until I get a nice bunched up set. So that's 3 and 4. And once I have that nice and bunched up, and I know I have that nice and secure, I'm going to wrap it around. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you do this even if you have 2 long ones long enough that you're doing this in the middle. You still need to do this to secure it. I'm going to do 2 more times just to be really secure. And then you push it back through once, and then tie it off, and back again, just to really secure it, and then you tie it off. Which, if you've ever done sewing, you know you do by catching one of the threads, pulling it through, and then bringing your needle back, bring it through the loop that's created, and pulling it tight. And you do that at least twice. Now, before I chain it, I also want to sew these ends, because I want these to be, basically what I want is I want a giant circle. So I'm going to do the same thing here that I did here. I take it, bend it in 2 inches, tuck my other end in. Now I need 2 feet of thread. Created a big circle. So now that you have sewn the two ends together, or one if your piece was long enough, you should have a circle that is between 13 and 14 feet around in its full circumference. No less than 12, or this won't work very well. More than that works too. You just get a longer chain. But you're going to take, at this point it's time to actually create your chain. So you're going to take your knot area, one of your places that you've sewn it, whether it is the midpoint that you've sewn together to secure it, or the ends like this where it's twice as much. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a loop. I'm going to take one of my, now this one, it is a cord with the little thing to push down. Some of them are just ribbon that has been tied to string. If that is the case, you actually want to pull out more of your button thread, and you want to secure a loop about this big. You want it just large enough that you can put 3 fingers through it. But with this one, I just have to pull it this way. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm putting it on where it has been sewn as extra security. So just pull that loop through and pull it tight. All right. And that should be, my loop should be down like this, and my string up. Now I'm going to put my fingers through that loop, and this is going to turn this point into my top, because I'm going to reach through this loop and I'm just going to pull through another piece just large enough for 3 fingers. And I'm just going to keep doing this, chaining it, trying to keep it even until I get to the bottom. So when you get to the end, you're going to have this little bunny ear thing going on, because you don't want to pull that all the way through. And you'll have, on one side you will have your knot, on the other side you will have it plain. And you're just going to put those together and then attach your next one around. Again, if you just have a ribbon and it doesn't have it that goes all the way around here, you'll want to sew it. But this one just clamps in place. So again, I just put that right where the sewn part is for extra reinforcement. Push that down. And there is my braid. And now, if you didn't do a very good job, like I didn't right here, and things aren't very even, you can adjust it. But I'm just going to fluff it and move it around, and make it look nice. And there we have it. One matching back scrubber made from 2 bath sponges of the same type to make a set. I know it's simple and easy. It's just, this is something I've been thinking of for a while, and I made one for myself and I loved it, so I thought I would share. So I'm hoping you like this as well. If you did like this and enjoy this, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next week. Until then, whether making homemade back scrubbers or any other craft, just remember, don't be afraid to suit yourself and make whatever it is you do exclusively you. You ever had one of those days where you'd forget your own head if it wasn't attached? That's today. Let me redo that. Okay. Backing up. Okay, so you come to the end here. You know, give me a second to figure this out. And there we have it. One matching bath scrub.